Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Life from the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. Continuing Geneva Watch Days, we're going to be looking at Bulgari. They've released two complicated pieces at Geneva Watch Days. I'm going to be talking about them. I think the second one, the first one is a WorldTimer, the second one is a Central Tourbillon. I really love the way that they've played around with how to tell time here. It reminds me a lot of independent watch companies, similar to something like an MBNF or the like. So I'm going to be talking about these two watches. It's cool to see complications coming into their Octo sort of line of watches. So I'm super excited for them. If you don't know, we're covering some of the watches that were released at Geneva Watch Days. So if you want to see some of those videos, be sure to check out our past videos to check those out. So Bulgari has, previous to the Octo Finissimo, was always regarded as sort of a jewelry brand and wasn't taken very seriously, I think, by a lot of watch collectors because they weren't really creating things that really made watch collectors really want to engage with their pieces. But after the Octo Finissimo, I think they've been taken a little bit more seriously, and I think these two watches really stamp their mark in the fact that we are looking to do, like Bulgari is saying, we want to do complicated pieces. We want to be known as a watch, we want to be known as one of the forces in the watchmaking world. So the first one that they released was the Bulgari Octo Roma WorldTimer. There's two versions of this watch. The first one is in stainless steel and comes with the integrated bracelet similar to the normal Octo Finissimo. It has this really bright blue sunburst dial that the sunburst of it really looks quite interesting. The watch itself is 41 millimeters in diameter, and obviously you have your WorldTimer complication around the outside of the watch, and then you have hours, minutes, and seconds hand. What's kind of interesting about this is you have the hour indicator sort of on the inside of this watch. And there's obviously there's stick hands for most of the hours, but 12 and 6 both have their own numerals on the dial. I'm actually not a huge fan of the font of these. I know it sounds weird, but like the font of them just feels a little bit off with how this watch looks. Regardless, a really beautiful watch. Then there's another version of this watch that is a steel case coated with a DLC. It has a DLC coat. It comes on a black rubber strap and has a black dial. Similar sort of dial layout and font. Still not a huge fan, but I think maybe the black and white numerals and case looks a little bit better to me than sort of the blue and white font. So it almost like mutes the font of the black one. I don't know if that's a thing, but so yeah. Cool sort of design there. I like the fact that there's two different versions. I think that's something that's going to be quite important. The watch is running on the caliber. It's the caliber BVL257, hours, minutes, seconds, WorldTimer complication, 42 hours of power reserve, automatic movements. You have a rotating a rotor in the back of the watch that you can obviously it's going to spin when you use it. Display case backs, you actually can see it. The movement itself has some Côte de Genève finishing to it, but isn't something that you're going to probably stare at for many hours like you would a longer movement, because there isn't as much depth in this piece. It's quite a compact movement. So that's the first piece. My thoughts on this piece is it's cool that there's a complication. I personally, there's something about the dial that just doesn't work with me. I don't know if it's, I really love WorldTimer complications. I think they can look absolutely beautiful, but I don't know, the WorldTimer, obviously the names of the cities around the outside and the integration of the hour indicators just feels off to me. Like I said, I think the black and the black version of this watch with a black dial mutes it in some way, and so it's not as obvious as to why I'm not a huge fan. But still, it's a great step forward for Bulgari to create something complicated and continue to build out their Octo Finissimo line. And I'm positive that people are going to end up buying these. This is an $8,000 US WorldTimer, which is a very affordable price for someone who is looking to get a WorldTimer complication if you like these types of aesthetics. So the second piece I wanted to go over was a really cool piece. This is the Bulgari Octo Roma Central Tourbillon Papillon. This watch is, for me, like, this looks absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. So one of the most obvious things about this watch is as soon as you look at it, in the middle of the dial, you see this really beautiful tourbillon. And obviously central tourbillons are not as simple to create as possible. You have to really deconstruct and design a movement that allows for the tourbillon to be in the center of the dial. There's a couple of watches that have had this complication in the past, but it's not a very common tourbillon that you're going to find out there. There is an MB&F that has something similar to that. And so, yeah, having in the center allows that. I mean, just like conceptually thinking about it, your hand, the hours, minutes, and seconds hands typically are attached to the center of the dial, and so allow for it to point to, you know, markers on the outside. So now you have this tourbillon in the way where you actually put your minutes and seconds hand. So we'll get into that in a bit. I wanted to talk about the movement really quickly. It's the BVL332 movement. 60 hours of power reserve allows for the watch to actually be in the center of the case, which is a big step for Bulgari to take and create something that's so unique like this. When you turn this watch over, incredible movement construction and really cool finishing to it as well. I didn't give sort of some of the details. So 41 millimeters in diameter, rose gold crown, and I believe it's a rose gold case. Flying tourbillon in the middle of it. It's a hand wound movement, and then complications are hours, minutes, and a tourbillon. So to describe how the hours and minutes sort of integrate with this. So like I said, you have this tourbillon in the center of the watch. Then you have this indicator at 12 o'clock, which is where the jumping 24 hours is, which again is a complication that isn't very easy to put into a watch, but a very unique one. And then what you've got from running from 3 o'clock up to 9 o'clock are indicators for the minutes that elapse in an hour. If you look sort of at the center, you have the tourbillon, and then if you go one sort of disc out, you see these really interesting sort of pointers, and you've got two of them on opposite ends. This is basically the hand that's going to point to the minute that has elapsed in that specific hour. So the one that's between 3 and 9 will be pointing directly at the hour, the minutes indicator. And as the watch sort of turns and the indicator comes to 9 o'clock where you have 60, what's going to happen is that minute indicator is actually going to turn 90 degrees and point towards, and sort of, instead of pointing towards the outside of the watch, it's going to point towards the inside, it's just going to be in a line with sort of the disc. And the minutes pointer on the opposite end is going to turn from pointing like this to pointing towards the minute indicator. So you've actually got this really interesting rotation that allows you to point to the minutes that are running from 3 to 9 continuously. It's a very difficult thing to create and very interesting way of sort of displaying the hours and minutes. You have a jumping hours, and then you have this really interesting minute pointer that oscillates at 100 degree, that moves at a 100-degree angle, and has mechanical pieces that actually move so that you know which hand to read for the minutes. Pretty cool, I have to admit. So rose gold case, really nice sort of black and rose gold finishing to it. It comes on a brown strap. I think the design elements of this watch are phenomenal, and really great choice for this type of complication. Center tourbillons are not easy to create. I think they've done it really well here. This isn't a cheap piece, but I think this is really a way that Bulgari is stamping and taking the show away and saying, listen, we will do complicated things. We'll create movements that have interesting ways of telling time. And to me, like, as an independent watch lover, like, this hits home for me 100%. So really well done, Bulgari. I absolutely love this piece. Congratulations on your releases for this year. If you haven't seen some of our other Geneva Watch Day coverage, be sure to see some of the other videos. We also have articles on our website for all of the videos that we create on our YouTube channel, so be sure to check those out. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this piece, these two pieces. Which one do you prefer, the WorldTimer, the Tourbillon? I'm the Tourbillon camp for sure. So I'd love to hear what you think about them. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button for us for YouTube analytics, it really does help us out. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time.